All right, folks, let's get into it. We're going into April 12th tournament update. We don't really have a lot to update. A lot of tournaments got moved last weekend, obviously from all of the rain and high water we had and a lot of damage and stuff like that. We really hope everybody was safe and nothing, like everybody fared well through the storms and all that kind of good jazz. So our big bag of the week was Casey Scanlon up there on Norfolk. The Open turned into a one-day event because of the weather and the high water and everything. So 1805 up there. And then Big Bass was, that's 3.5 pounders caught that we found. Not a whole lot of information out there, but everything did get moved around or just flat out canceled, and we're trying to figure all that stuff out. So this weekend is going to be crazy. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. We're looking at lows in the mid 50s, highs in the low to mid 70s. I don't think the wind's supposed to be super crazy. I don't know, it could change. It is Arkansas. So with that being said, lakes are all have crested or are cresting right now as of Wednesday. So everything's starting to fall, so take that into consideration. There's probably fish that are up there now. Everything's kind of stabilized a little bit. It is falling, but some of those fish have probably moved a little bit. So with that, lakes are coming down. We'll talk about that in a minute. The rivers are falling drastically. The Arkansas River is falling drastically. I believe everything is pretty much under 200 and steady falling now. We've been kind of watching it every couple of hours just to make sure. So I don't think anything got blowed out too bad. We do have a barge stuck. I don't know if they've got it pulled yet over there at David Terry, but there is a barge down there. We did see that. So let's get into the tournaments, and it's stacked up. Pay attention because there may be multiples at these boat ramps. We're just going to start off at Hamilton. Only one we saw was TBF. TBF going to be at Hamilton. They rescheduled and moved over there from Millwood to Hamilton, and I believe they're rescheduling the Millwood to a later date. Bull Shoals, you've got Jackson County and Batesville Bassmasters. Maumelle is up. It's 5 foot low last we checked. They're going to keep it at 5 low, and they're just going to leave it there. So we can start having our tournaments back out there. We've talked to West Rock, and they're going to have info updating on their Tuesday nighters coming out soon. So we'll update everybody on those. But this weekend, supposed Rusty Hook and Buckethead going on over at Lake Maumelle. I do not know if those have changed. At Millwood this weekend, Aluminum Outlaws is going to be taken out of Yarborough, and then they've got the 4 states that was supposed to be last weekend is going to be this weekend. You pay at the ramp, you idle out to your spot, and then you start fishing. And it's going to be at Millwood this year, not Wright Patman. Devil's Fork, we've only found one over there. The Devon's Donor Benefit or Open Tournament is going on out of Devil's Fork. DeGray has Southern Outcast going out of the Caddo ramp, unless it's changed. And then over at Dardanelle, out of Dardanelle Bay, we've got the Sunrise Open, and at the state park, we've got the Ride Out Lumber. Now for the big one, Ouachita. Ouachita's going to get loaded up, folks. So we've obviously got the BFL. I believe they've moved that over at the Brady ramp. Isn't that correct, Brady? I think so. Brady. I thought it was at Mount Harbor. Somebody told me Brady Mountain. Live Like Bryce got moved to this weekend. Crystal Springs. Southwest City, Crystal Springs. Angler Management, Crystal Springs. Barling Boat Sales, going out of Shangri-La. So Ouachita's going to be a busy lake this weekend. We've got a few tournaments on Sunday. You got Angler Management is their deal is a 2-day deal. We've got the Hooked Outdoors on Lake Erling. ABYN is going out of Lake Erling, and that's at the Arkansas Game and Fish ramp. And the Media Solo Series shows to still be going out of at Lake Chico. So if there's any updates, please let us know on the post here. A lot of moving and shifting around and stuff like that. It's all going to get straightened back out. But that's the best we can find out. We spent quite a while today trying to get all this stuff figured out. So all the lakes are high, obviously, but they're all falling. I don't think it's going to be a drastic fall by the weekend, but they are all falling. Greason's high, 1.5 foot high. Awesome. That should be some good fishing. Millwood is flowing pretty good right now. They're about 4 foot high, but they'll move a lot of water out of that place, so everything should taper out over there pretty good. Norfolk, 17 feet high, and then the Greers is 11. Boy, those fish ought to be like, you ought to be all up in the bushes over there. That ought to be a great time over there on that one. Nimrod's 12 foot high. Ouachita 6.5 and falling. The Gray 9+ and falling. You know, and then Beaver's 6 foot. Bull Show's 7 foot. I mean, we had some really bad weather, but it should be some really great fishing this weekend, all weekend. The river ought to be able to get back on the river pretty well. So, boom. What's working? What's working over here? We got creature baits. I can't even read my own handwriting. Jigs, swim jigs, flipping jigs, football jigs, chatterbaits. Big trailers on those chatterbaits. Flinging a fluke and a floating worm around. Spinner baits, and we've had a few reports of buzzbait fish being caught. Boom! Ready for that. So, high water equals floaters. Please be safe out there. Lower units last all of about a second when they hit a piece of wood. They're very expensive, so please be safe. Wear your life jacket. Kill switch at all times while you're running that big motor. I always wear mine. I always wear my life jacket. I've never could figure out how to stick the landing at over 55 mile an hour. Not saying that I could do it at under 55 mile an hour, but always wear your life jacket, especially now. And, you know, be safe out there on the water. So that's really all that we've got for you guys right now. Remember, never leave fish to find fish. Right now, you might have to cover a lot of water to find some fish, but they'll be pretty wadded up pretty good, I would think. So let's have a good weekend out there, and hopefully we're going to have some really big bags to talk about and some really big fish to talk about that have been being caught. So y'all have a great weekend and be safe out there.